as they could. South Africa and Egypt may have a more powerful army than but no African country is more involved in the security arrangement in the surrounding regions than Nigeria. South Africa may have a high level of industrialization and a teeny oil state of Libya and Gabon, much higher per capita income, but no African country's economic wealth is more vital to its neighbors. Nigeria is the engine. You destabilize and break it up, we all going to be in trouble in Africa, West Africa. It has to stay as a unit, but they got to work it out among themselves how it's going to be run. But it, as a nation state with the power to do what it has to do in West Africa economically, militarily, in the world, it has to stay intact. Oil-rich Nigeria can submerge its neighbors in economic woes or flood it when it is flush. It's the world's 7th oil producer and United States' largest trading partner. Only African countries whose sudden disappearance from the map would cause more than a momentary ripple on the international scale. They're saying Nigeria is important to the world. 105 million people, large military, and a hyperactive foreign policy that many would quibble with America's self-designation. The president of Sierra Leone, 1,000 miles from Nigeria, in the west of Nigeria, was overrun in a coup 13 months ago. I took this out the Times today. Were overrun in a coup 13 months ago by rural rebels, invaded the capital, Freetown, looting and burning all in its path. Washington quickly sent Marines to evacuate Western residents, saving them from the mayhem and doing nothing to help the country. The United Nations likewise took no action. The only country that provided willing and able to help out the floorless nation was Nigeria. Stabilized it. General Abacha sent warships to blockade the rebels and trying to starve the economy. Warplanes to bomb the insurrection. Well, when all of that did not work, he mounted an intervention force. Nigerians lost troops, but he restored the order and stability. Sierra Leone president, etc., went on to say, there's going to be no change in the foreign policy of Nigeria according to the new president. When there is trouble in our region, this is Akubaka, whatever his name, the brother? Akubaka. Okay. He says, when there is trouble in our region, we will be there. Because to go absent would mean letting the fire spread. And it goes on and on and on and on. And this is what we're looking at. We're beginning to see Africa strong armies, economics, and playing a position in the world, but they can't let you know that. They can't let you know how profound the changes have been in the IMF, the World Bank economy, the whole world. And this is where we are at this particular point. So we're going to conclude here. Question and answer 2 points.
No, we just take it. The brother took us to school, didn't he?
Yes.
Yusuf, we don't need anybody else, do we? No, that was an inside joke. Sisters and brothers, let's thank Dr. Lewis. And we have to welcome his beautiful, hard-working wife, Sister Mary Lewis, and the family. Whenever we need Dr. Ben, this is who we have to go through to get Dr. Ben. And in speaking with Dr. Ben, Dr. Lewis, I don't believe that information you brought us.
No, let me just say it again. Brother Nooney, you go past Dr. Ben's house in the morning about 8 or 9, you talk with him, you take the walk, and you find out for yourself.
But, I mean, you've been there, I mean.
I'm telling you.
You remember even before the brother spoke, you remember what I said about him? He takes care of Dr. Ben. And I know that he was climbing a wall. I know because he knows Dr. Ben better than anyone else. And what he said here goes to what Baba Shin has always said. The Creator does not work in a mysterious way. I mean,
That's what he is. Doc has made all the necessary changes, and like I said, you can go, anyone you can talk to.
no, I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, it's really wonderful. Because, I mean, I personally spoke to Dr. Ben and he dismissed me, as you well know. So, that was very, very good information, very good news. And I'm sure the Creator visited with him.
Yeah, we can take a few questions, give it 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, just the reason why Dr. Lewis had to work today too, and he has to go back to the city. So, two quick questions. He will be back here for part 2. So you don't have to worry. If you see the flyer, he'll be back here for part 2. The first question. Oh. Excuse me. This came quickly.
Collapsing. It took, 2 years before it started balancing out itself? And are you and anyone else within your realm setting up a think tank to inform or update the African government as the economic structure within the world market?
Well, if you go to the second question, I don't, what we need to do here is to get together as we do like we have here, and get information and exchange it, so that we could better be informed on what is happening, so that we'll be in a better position to make certain decisions on what we should do here, what projects we can do on the continent, whether we should hook up, and what activities we have to go on. The other part of the question is, if the people in the Congo, Ethiopia, if they are smart enough, which we know they are, they have already put together their armies, their security, their agriculture, they already put their people to work. So I think there's very little that we can basically add to their understanding of how to develop a country, because they're doing it. It doesn't mean that we can contribute, but they're already practicing what we are talking about in terms of nation building. Now, what was the other one about Japan?
Oh, they had the problem in the stock market, and they said 2 years it wasn't balanced or whatever it was.
What the Japanese?
So they have all this money invested in America, why couldn't they just retrieve some or whatever to balance themselves out?
Because if the whole system works on you helping, trading with each other. What if the Japanese say to America, give me my 333 billion? But then America's going to turn around and say, I'm not going to allow any more of your cars in, your computers and everything collapse. So that's why when we develop our system, it has to be primarily among African people trading without needs, so that we don't have any problem with being locked in and being dragged down when they stumble. And that's what they're doing regionally in the continent.
I think this is one of the best lectures I've heard. Synthesizing the state of the African world. Question I would like to have put to you is, how do we defend ourselves against all the attack, more so on the biological warfare also?
Well, I think probably one of the best ways is to get the education. For instance, when the United States, through the World Health Organization, use these vaccines.
Yeah.
These vaccines come primarily from the United States. Now, they said that a doctor in Senegal were able to block vaccination. And these particular vaccines for measles or chickenpox is the CDC and these drug companies here made a vaccine that was 500 times more potent than normally. They gave these vaccines to people, children in Los Angeles, Dominican Republic, Thailand, and Senegal. They calculated that had the World Health Organization been able to distribute the 350 vaccines, they would have killed 20 million African children in 3 months. So the way we were able to protect it was somebody had enough knowledge and enough information to pull the minister's coats to say stop it. So the best way we could do it is if we can educationally get material out to different countries to say, hey, you don't take this. These people are the ones who are trying to hurt you. And so whoever stopped the vaccine in Senegal saved 350 million of us from being vaccinated and saved 20 million African lives. So hopefully we're getting you in these ministries and we to get information and constantly talk to alert ourselves. So I would answer the question by saying information and spread it to pull each other's coats. That's how you have to do it.
Thank you very much for your lecture. I have two questions. One is that I've heard a lot about several of the African countries selling their mines and their mills and so forth to Europeans or maybe Japanese and Chinese.
Yeah.
I'm not so clear on that. How does that play into what you're talking about?
Some of the African countries have brought into the privatization. They find themselves in what they call a poor state or undeveloped state. They have to try to figure out how am I going to get what I need. The countries in Central Africa have already figured it out, that what they're going to get is something they're going to have to build internally, slowly, and with their own. You first build all your roads, maybe take you 10 years, then you build your infrastructure. Those countries in Central Africa and others are going to be in good economic shape. The countries which are trying to do it the quickie way, like South Korea, they don't understand that if you're going to sell your mines and your forests and everything, yes, you'll get a quick $100 million infusion. But in 2, 3 years or 5 years, you're going to be just like these people. So what they're going to have to do is go through the privatization, let it kick them in the butt, and then they will know the next time not to do it. These groups of Central African countries, they're beginning to do it the proper way. And presumably more and more countries will say, I don't have to sell my mine. I'll look into the region. So to me, this is what's going to happen. They're going to have to pay the price. And when they realize that it doesn't work that way, it's a scheme and they're going to cut it. And then they will join in. That's part of the learning process. It's like walking. You go fall, you get some bruises, etc. You can't go in and tell a minister of one of these countries about this. And he said, practically, but look what I got here, look what I got here now, but in the long run. So they're going to pay the price.
My second question is, what do you think about the so-called year 2000 computer problem, and how does that play out?
I have no knowledge of whether it is what's going to really happen or whether it's a farce. I have no knowledge of it. You would have to get somebody who knows more about the computer to see if this thing about not being able to read it as 2000 really has any meaning. I heard people on radio, some say it has meaning, some say it don't. Some say that, don't worry, we're going to fix it. Some say it's a catastrophe. No idea what to tell you.
Thank you.
This is the last one.
Okay.
Let him go.
No, he will take the questions, just a few more. So it's going quick, the questions.
Trying to tag into this year 2000 thing. If things start getting very difficult in this country, we know anything that Europeans can get together, they're going to use to help themselves. So it's going to put a heck of a squeeze on us. And I was wondering, is there any way that we can sort of get together and try to get some kind of an African citizenship so that we have the home country protecting us and these people over here will be afraid to touch us?
Well, I can't deal with the citizenship part. All I can say is that as strong as Africa is, that's your protection. Because let's face it, the United States gave the Japanese $5 billion in reparations only after Japan got strong enough industrially that they had to deal with it. So if another time you begin to see, they start writing very favorable reports about Africa. They're saying, oh, Africa is not so bad. They're rich. Why is that now? I will show you the next time articles where these big corporations and these educational institutions are saying that the picture we gave you of Africa only as this problem was wrong. Africa really is rich, it's got resources, it's got good people, so it's already changing. But the answer to your question is, when Africa gets strong, they'll be able to tell the United States, look, if you mistreat African people, we cut off the oil, the platinum, the gold, the silver. backed by some atomic bombs now. It's very important because the atomic bomb, the United States and Russia, as we will learn at another time, have used the atomic weapon to intimidate you to get what they want. Iraq would not have held back his army, but it was the threat of the nuclear weapon. So when you got the nuclear weapon, you neutralize that threat, then you go back to regular bargaining. And believe me, we can buy it from India or Pakistan. If we can work the deal, we can get it. It's easy to get it now.
Thank you very much. Part 2 in 2 weeks.
I know you were coming, so you don't have to worry.
You know, the traffic and the rain and stuff. So, okay, so far for the last Sunday, I'm free.
Yeah.
If I don't get tied up.
20th.
You know, I'm free, but I'm saying, if I don't have to go to the hospital, then I'll be here early. If I have to go, I'll be 5:30. Yeah, so you see, he went to St. Louis. We structured a lecture for him down in North Carolina. Denise in Washington, D.C. is going to give him their annual banquet. It's going to be in D.C. And then we're going to structure him to go down to Virgin Islands because that keeps him active. Now he says he wants to go back in the university to teach, to keep sharp. No,
That's
this is
the word.
Doc.
Yeah. And I guess once he see the results now, he feels even more
Lack of
invigorated.
pesticides, the arteries are becoming unblocked, the mind is sharp, he realized the thing. That's what he said.
It worked. Thanks to you. No, because I mean, you know you're a stable state.
Well, you have to go, you can't use them just because they're ignorant of the diet and things. We stop by usually every morning, make sure he's with the kids, and then we take a mile walk to him. He eats good, he exercise.
At 80.
You remember, did you see him stumbling with the cane?
Yeah. He's off the cane now?
He takes his cane like this. He's dancing. He's dancing. Like I said, you gotta go by one time and see him. You gotta see for yourself.
No, because what